of a massage? Does it need to relax on the couch of a psychologist? If so, then this message is designed just for you. Hello, I'm David A. Cowan, pastor of Ever Increasing Life Ministry in the city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I'm inviting you tonight on a different segment for the next 4 Wednesdays to join me in therapy for relationships. Now, I know for those of you who regularly tune in to our broadcast that we're dealing with the laws of grace, increase, abundance, and opulence. But tonight I feel so led to spend time with you each Wednesday to share with you tidbits, common sense, wit, and wisdom about relationship management and how to solve issues that relationships have. When we see such a increase in divorce, separation, those who don't want to be married, those who rather live in platonic relationships, and all other kind of things that we can imagine that goes on in relationships today. So many people find it so hard to just get along with each other under the same roof. So, as we deal with relationship therapy, let's talk about some of the common goals and the root cause of developing strong, lasting relationships. That way we also can define why relationships fail as well as succeed by understanding the truths of knowing ourselves before we know others. This is defining with a clear purpose, clear goals, a clear vision before we enter into relationship that can affect and effect someone else's life, can make their life better or even make it worse. So whatever the case may be, defining and understanding why it is what it is will help us to understand the keys to lasting relationship and fixing what we have. You know, many relationships that I've counseled over the years has misfocused goals and visions. There are those who started out with good plans, but just abandoned the plan because of emotional stress, outside interference, lack of finances, and the lack of determination to work things out. So tonight, as we talk about therapy for relationships, again, it's designed to help your relationship with common sense insights that are necessary to finding your way to a better you so there can be a better us. Finding your way to be a better you so there can be a better us. As we deal with 4 keys tonight, we will discover even in these 4 keys some things that will help us no matter how long we've been in a relationship or if we're just starting. And even if we're single, still by ourselves. Things that must be, again, clearly defined. There's an old saying that if you fail to plan, then you've planned to fail. And that is so real. That is so true about any and every situation. If you fail to plan, then you're going to plan, you fail, it's going to fail. Simple. Your plan is going to fail. Let's begin this with the number one ground rule. Number one ground rule for any and all goals, dreams, visions, business, and relationships. Let's understand the ground rule here so we can build a relationship that's going to last, that's going to be strong, that's going to be clear and precise. And that's what we need to develop strong relationships. The number one foundation that you must understand in your relationship or in any relationship is motive. Motives. This have to be defined. Your motives have to be defined. It has to be clear. It has to be understandable. You must be clear about why you want to be in a relationship or enter into a relationship with someone, have a relationship with someone, be married to someone. Your motive need to be clear. And in so many relationships, that is not so. We enter into it because this is what humans do. This is what male and females do. This is what my family done. I have done. And this is what man has been doing ever since he got here on the planet. He's been entering in relationships. But why is it that we have to go through, in many cases, two, three, or several different people before we come out to the person, our soulmate, that we want to be married to or in a relationship with, of marriage? Why so many people are having this problem with being in a relationship for long periods of time and ending up in holy matrimony and being married for years? I want to take my time. That's why I'm not talking fast, because we need to be clear. We need to be precise on our direction. For many of you, you may say, I'm okay. My marriage is okay. My relationship is okay. Well, this may not be for you. But I believe if you stay tuned, you would discover some things about yourself. You discover how to take your relationship to another level, how to increase it, or just fine-tuning the relationship. Others of you, your relationship may be on a rocky course to heading towards separation, full of confusion, and even aiming toward the door of divorce. Others of you may be single and can't keep a relationship or hang on to a relationship because of certain issues. And I know most of the time we always want to blame the other person. The reason why it broke up, the reason why it failed. We didn't make it. But I believe in defining and discovering underlying issues about oneself, which is pertinent in going into a relationship. One must know him or herself. This is vital. So when we're talking about motives, the hidden agenda of the heart, the ground reason why I do anything, motives. And when you can define your motive, your clear intent, then you can discover why you want to enter into a relationship or business or have children or whatever it is. The ground level, basement floor is going to be your motive. And motives many times are not defined. It's just doing what is natural, having sex, which is just natural, with no connection, no intent of going beyond that in commitment, just having sex. Many of us even try living with each other for a period of time to see if we're going to be compatible or if it's going to work or if you're the one for me. And there are so many wrong arrows with that. And many people become scarred, wounded, bitter, angry because of the injury of their experiment, are trying to discover, let's figure out if we're the one for each other. Let's date other people, even though we're together, we still see other people just to see if we want to be with somebody different. There's a lot of crazy thinking that goes on in people's minds that you're going to have to know yourself with clear understanding of your goals or your vision or your plans for your life. So you won't get caught up in the rat race that so many people are running with a lack of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to know what's right and what's wrong and have a clear perception of where they're headed and how they want to live. So let's deal again, dealing with motive. As I said, motives are hidden out of sight. They're hidden out of sight until they surface by way of emotion, anger, romance, or deceit. It reveals the true intent or purpose of the heart. You know, I imagine many times I'm dealing with relationships and watching people in relationships that say they love each other, verbally confess, I love you. You're my soulmate. You're my everything. Take things verbally out of their mouth, but yet when they get angry or get hurt, then they begin to say other words that not I love you, that you're everything, that there's no one else for me. They begin to curse and call each other out of their names, begin to become verbally abusive and even physical abusive, because they really don't know their heart. No, the Bible said that the heart of man is wicked, and who can know it? The heart is wicked, and who can know it? And when we talk about the heart, we're talking about the soul of man, his will, his emotions, his intellect, his reasoning. How can we say that we love someone and yet destroy and take their life? See, it's the heart. It's unknown. There are things inside of us are drawn out when we become angry. And that's why the Bible says, be ye angry, but sin not. Because when we become overly excessive in our anger, we begin to walk in the realm of destruction. We begin to walk in the realm of saying things out of our heart to the same person that we say we love. It's the heart. Motives have to be clear. You have to understand in our motives that we're ready to enter into relationship. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if you're ready to enter into a relationship, then your motives need to be defined. Why? Why? Why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? Have I counted the cost for entering into a relationship? Have I taken clear understanding of the responsibility of caring for someone, loving someone, respecting that person? Have I really took in all the aspects of being unselfish? Being unselfish in the relationship. That is not about me. It's about them. It's about us. And have a clear, defining understanding that there only can be one. A clear motive of understanding there only can be one. And that has to be clear. That has to be understood within yourself as the individual. And each party to the relationship have to know that and understand that. Clear, precise, in order for a relationship to last. So our number one thing, I want you to write this down. I want you to write that down on your pad. Make a note of it. What is my motive? If you've already been in a relationship, what was your motive? If your relationship is going through turbulence and in your relationship, you must understand, what was my intent? What was my motive at the outset? If you're in a relationship already, or what was my motive in a relationship with this person that I'm in a relationship with right now? What was your motive? Am I clear, or was I clear when I came into this relationship? These are the pre-thoughts that one must anticipate and be clear concerning before he engage himself or herself into the life and emotions in the mind of someone else. These are the pre-thoughts that you must be clear concerning. Number two, let's move on to motive number two of our relationship therapy. What do you expect? What did you expect to receive out of a relationship? What are you expecting? And for those who are in the relationship already, what did you expect to receive out of the relationship? Again, you need to be clear. If you fail the plan, you're planned to fail. Most people are just running off of emotion, adrenaline, attraction, or security, finance, or power. People are attracted to authority. People who are in authority. They're attracted to people who are in power. Nothing else, just attracted to it. People marry because of wealth, purpose, financial security. That's the whole kit in the caboodle. You know, I just say, that's just the bottom line to what they're thinking. They're not thinking about longevity of the relationship. They're not thinking about promoting you as the person, as their mate, being with you the rest of their life until death do us part. What are their motives? And number two, dealing with what did you expect to profit in this relationship? What did you expect to get out of it? Or better yet, for those who are single, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table of this relationship? What is your value? What is your worth? That you're investing your soul, you're investing your body, you're investing your human spirit into a relationship with someone who either can bring the best out of you or the worst out of you. Someone you can build a future with or will destroy you and take your youth and the best days of your life, your youthfulness, and abuse it. So I'm dealing with, number one, my motive. Number two, what do I expect to profit out of this relationship? So write this down and be truthful. What do you expect to profit out of the relationship? And be truthful to yourself. I made a note about being truthful to yourself. It says, if you're not truthful to yourself, then you won't be truthful to others. If you're not truthful to yourself, then you will not be truthful to others. That is a defining statement. That is a defining statement. You see, you should never expect to receive more than you're willing to invest. You should never expect to receive more out of a relationship than you're willing to invest in it. Your investment determines your profit, your gain, Your investment does. What are you willing to put in? Determine your harvest, your profit. I made a note in this one, number 2, as a key note. You must come into the relationship 100% commitment. You must come into the relationship with 100% commitment to this one person. You must be clear, you must be precise in your vision that there is no other person. I'm not looking for no one else. You know, a couple of weeks ago in meditation, in prayer, I heard the Lord says, keep your tennis shoes on. I woke up and I heard it say, keep your tennis shoes on. I didn't know that he was getting me ready for this some weeks ago. But he said, keep your tennis shoes on. I'm like, keep my tennis shoes on? He says, right. Be prepared to run away from anyone who's going to interfere with your relationship. Remember, people are attracted, males and females are attracted to what they think is better than what they have. And we all have that tendency to think that the grass is always greener on the other side. We look at someone else's relationship and you wonder, man, if that was my wife, or if that was my husband. But a lot of time, what we are seeing, if we're not careful, is the mask on the outside of those doors. Not knowing the true realization of what goes on behind those doors. Many people wear masks, disguising to be happy. They have a perfect relationship. And many times they are violent, argumentative all the time, non-speaking, non-sexual intercourse with each other. But on the outside, they cover up real good. So you need to be careful what you're asking for. And we learn this habit from childhood. This is a childhood habit that is revealed in every person. 2 children can be playing in a playroom with 2 different toys. And they can look over one to the other and want the toy the other one has. Because it looked like that child is having more fun with their toy than they're having with their toy. So they're more excited, they're more in love with it. And what do? They go over and try to take it. Or join in and play that toy. Because the person looks to be more happy doing what they're doing with it. And that's what marriages look like. It's in that when people are gelling together, they're happy about their relationship, they're getting along well from the outside perspective, and it seems like, man, if my marriage should work like that, if my wife looked like that, if my husband was that tall, dark, and handsome, or 6'1", 6'2", or whatever your desire is in those areas, it can become very deceitful. Because you don't know what you have, so you compare it to something you don't have to try to weigh it out, the value of what you do have. It's like buying houses and buying cars. You need something to compare it to figure out which one you want, which one is more or am I getting the best value for my dollar? And sometimes we do humans the same way and choices. But coming to understanding in our 100% commitment that every human is a work in process. Every human is. None of them are perfect. None of us are perfect. And every one of us have something we're working on. Now, there's a lot of good people. I would say there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good choices out there. But you need to understand that I need to be precise about who I want and who I am. This is determining the factors of my motive. So number one is my motive. Number two, I'm dealing with, in my relationship, I'm dealing with commitment, 100% commitment. I have to be, I need to be clear about that. What do I expect from the relationship? Write it down. What's your expectation? Be clear. Be truthful to yourself. If you lie to yourself, you will lie to others. Number three. Therapy point number three. Character. Character. Developing your character is vital. Some of you are finding this out now that you're in a relationship. Now that you've been married 2 or 3 years, and it seemed like what was a joyful honeymoon, and some of you might have had a nightmare honeymoon and realize I'm in trouble. Or some of you may have found out a couple of years later in the relationship that I'm in trouble. And some of you may have found out by having a relationship with someone that didn't make it 3 months. You may have discovered some character traits in yourself that have led to this short-term relationship. See, self-development is vital. Self-development is vital. Developing your character. So many people, again, married, get in a relationship over security, over money, over looks, over just something to do. Or just to say, I'm with somebody, or with someone. All kind of reason why people get in relationships. But what you should be looking for in a relationship, in a person, is character. It's character. Your character is very vital. So self-development, again, is important. And what I'm looking into someone else is character. You know, I watch people who buy homes a lot. I love AWE, A Wealth of Entertainment. I watch it every day. At some point, I'm going to watch. And people who buy homes say, I'm looking for a house with character in it. You got to have some character, some history. Well, that is also true about people. You need to look for a person who got character, who have history of developing themselves. May have never been in a relationship before, but their history is they're truthful to themselves, they are faithful to themselves, they are faithful to their parents, they've been faithful to the education system, of their learning, are faithful toward their goals that they want to achieve in life. I need to look at character. Are they faithful to saving? Their finances. Those are characters that you need to look for in a person. That which have true value. Because those are the things that reveals the heart. Those are the things that reveal their motives. Whether they're goal driven. Whether they make up their mind to go after something and do it. Do they finish what they start? Those are character that one must build in himself. So when I ask the question, what do you bring to the table? It's the weight of your character, your trustworthiness, your faithfulness, your loyalty to yourself. If you lie to yourself, you're going to lie to others. If you cheat on yourself, you're going to cheat on others. It's a part of your character. And when you do not develop your character, it's a carryover into a relationship. And what you were in your single, undeveloped, uncharacter life, undeveloped in your character life, you're going to be that in your married life. Married life does not change you. It doesn't make everything okay. There are things that you must work on before the marriage or the relationship, and while you're in the relationship, still working, perfecting yourself and your character. The Bible says a double-minded man is not clear on what he want to do. He's not clear on making decisions. One of the strong characteristics of a leader, of leadership, is one who's able to make decisions, even in the face of fear. He yet makes the decision, and he proceeds with the decision. That's one of the character traits of leadership. If the person you're dealing with is unsure about himself, does not have confidence about himself or herself, they're not precise about their decisions, they're always changing from one thing to another thing, they say one thing and yet do another, they never follow through. Is that you? In your single state, is that you? Is that something that you find yourself doing, not being precise, not being decisive, not making a decision and follow through, not finishing what you start, always switching? Some people do that going to college. They switch they go in with one mind, and by the time they spend 6 months to a year in a course, they change their mind to go to something else. They're not sure about what is it that they want to do or be or have. And that is a flaw in a person's character. Again, I admit, that's no perfect person. But there are some things one must develop in himself before going into a relationship that affects or affect the emotion, the mind, the body, and the spirit of another person. That's number 3, character. Number 4, and we're about to close. Number 4, therapy, relationship point. Being single. being single. This is a bittersweet position for a lot of people. It's a bittersweet position for a lot of people because it has the sweet position where at this moment I'm not accountable to no one but me. I can go and come as I please. My money is my money. My stuff is my stuff. If I want to see somebody, I can. If I don't, so I don't. It has its sweet moments. Then the bitter moment is when I see my friends with their love, their husbands, and their relationships. And I got to go places with them and they got someone, I don't have someone on my arm. Then it becomes the bitter side. I'm always going home to a house, four walls. I wind up holding a pillow at night to comfort until I go to sleep. Those type of things is the bitter side of being single. But let's look at it from the point of view that being single is a God moment where I discover me. Where I discover the real me. I begin to discover my heart, my motive, my character. What is it that I want to be, do, and have? This is a defining moment of perfecting myself or maturing myself so that I can be a fit. I want to say the word perfect fit, but a fit for someone else's life. I can be the one that make her life better for the rest of her life. I can be the one that make his life better for the rest of his life. By spending this quality time discovering myself. You know, before God even gave Adam a wife, Adam spent, doesn't tell us how long, but I believe he spent years by himself. Not alone or being lonely, but just by himself. Him and God, him and nature, him and responsibility, him discovering himself, him developing himself. Adam didn't know everything about himself. That's why he had to spend time with God, so he can come to know who he is, what he is, and what he's capable of doing or being. So being single is not all bad because it's a God moment. If you can guard your heart, know at this time in my life that it's a defining moment for me to become established. For me to become to be established without distraction. Not saying that all relationships are distractions, but some of them can be discouraging, argumentative. Sometimes people want to take ownership of you. I've seen people in relationship, in many cases, the woman have her own place, move a guy in, then the guy try to take over the place. Run the place. Sometimes they have no jobs, but want to run the place that he's been invited into. Vice versa. It can happen, the woman the same way. Come in and just want to take control of something that you don't have or haven't been given ownership to. I've seen those things happen. And they happen because without clear motive, not knowing what is it that you want, not having character, or not looking for the character in the other person. And number 4, you don't appreciate being by yourself. You don't value the time being by yourself. You discover what you don't want as well as what you want when you're single by yourself. Closing thought. Presenting the real you to someone is first and foremost motive of the heart, of relationship. Presenting the real you. Up front, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I'm looking for. And this is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm willing to commit to the relationship. Without those clear, precise development character in yourself, you are going to present a false picture to impress someone. Excuse me. To impress someone that you're all that. You know, as young people say, a Coke and a bag of chips. When you're not. Because we always want to impress the person we're meeting to make them feel comfortable or to make them think that I'm all together. I got it all together. And when many times it's nothing but a come on line to try to sweep someone, sweet talk them off their feet to get what you want. Because you're not presenting the real you. Presenting the real you is, I believe, is so important to courtship, in meeting someone, to have a meaningful relationship for the rest of your life. You have to know that I'm not looking for a girlfriend. This girlfriend, boyfriend thing. Or someone to spend some time without commitment. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for my soulmate. I'm looking for my husband. I'm looking for my wife. The man that findeth a wife finds a good thing. I'm looking for my good thing, my wife. So my whole courtship time, I spent all this time being single, developing myself, purposing, aiming to become a person of means, a person of purpose, goal-driven, knowing what I want, to just go and spend time with someone who has no goals, no vision, no intent, and to throw all that away that you've invested in developing yourself, call it waste. You don't waste that time to give yourself to someone else who is not of equal quality as yourself. Listen, I appreciate you spending time with me tonight. Linda and I spent 38 years with each other, plus two in our relationship before we dated 2 years in our courtship. So it's 40 years we've been together. So I've learned a lot of valuable lessons in life. I've counseled a lot of people, heard a lot of stories, worked out a lot of issues. Some relationships we were not able to save. They just didn't have anything in common. They was going two different ways on the same street, just headed in a different direction. But because of these values that I've learned over the years, it put me in a position to teach what I'm teaching you, sharing with you what I'm sharing with you. The groundwork. You have to put the groundwork in. I thought about an old slogan that I heard years ago, and I was meditating, getting ready for this lesson. And the person who made this statement, he said, you either play now and pay later. In life, you mess with your youth, you mess with your time, you don't develop yourself, and you just plan and use years of your life, and you pay later on in life because you played early in your life. Or you can pay now, develop yourself, put the time in, put the effort in, develop your character, become clear and precise now, be a person of means, a person of goal-driven, be a person who are precise about what you want to be, do, and to have, so you can put yourself in a position so you can play later. I believe that to be true. So to every ever-increasing life member, I want you to know that Linda and I are praying for you. We're loving you. We're here to pour into you. We want you to have great success. Whatever you put your hands on, that the Lord breathe on it, that God bless it. Every partner around the world, we want you to experience God's best and choice blessings for your life. And just before I leave the air, I want to encourage you for our youth this Friday at the ministries, Ever Increasing Life Ministry at 6360 Greenwell Street. I want to invite you to be out with our Dare to Exist team. We're dealing with our kids, so you can go to our website. You can register your child to be a part of it at 7 o'clock this Friday. You can register your child to be a part of it. We do practice all the CDC safeties, so be prepared for that as well. But come have fun, enjoy, be a part of the excitement as we reach to change a generation, developing young minds for future leadership. Listen, I love you. Don't forget to get your tithes and your offerings in. You know that goes on. A lot of time I get offbeat and people like, oh, I ain't got a tithe. I ain't got to put my offering in. No, we still do that. Okay? So until Friday and then Sunday, I see you then. God bless you. We love you.